Hey, what's up? It's B-Ball Direct. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you are new, make sure to like and all that because YouTube wants you to like. So do it. But anyway, playoffs have started. I'm a little late to this, mainly because I don't have, I can't do after the game commentary. I didn't watch it. I mean, I can go through storylines and all that. The Bucks won their first round series already, so that's good. I was on vacation at an Airbnb that had a dish, so I did get to watch Game 2 of Lakers versus Phoenix, and that was fun. I liked watching that. I heard a lot about how, because I watched a lot of videos about how AD was not doing good, but this game, right out the gate, he was going in and he was getting a lot of fouls. Cameron Payne, who went from the backup PG to out of the rotation to traded to the Bulls to he can't even be an NBA player anymore to a bubble invite, and now he is the backup. He's sometimes even the starter he's getting starter minutes because Chris Paul has unfortunately been injured, and he's been out there hooping. And that's crazy that he went from potentially a scrub level player who couldn't even play in the NBA to now contributing heavy on a playoff, hopefully winning team. But that was a lot of fun. Of course, I would say of course, but I would like the Phoenix Suns to win. But I also want the Lakers to win. That was crazy about that game. I was like, yeah, I was kind of rooting for the Suns, and then after a couple minutes, I was like, oh yeah, this is done. This is basically over. I can't remember who it was. I think LeBron hit a 3 or AD hit a 3. And then on the other end, they came back, they missed, they had a 2-minute stretch where they couldn't score, and the fourth quarter, Caruso did a fake handoff to a dunk, and I was like, yeah, it's over. And then Booker got my hopes up he kept getting fouled at the 3-point line, made his free throws. That was crazy. But that was good. Montrezl Harrell didn't play, which I was surprised. I did not see him at all. Marc Gasol was out there. He hit a 3. He was being big, of course. So I made my own little kind of messed up playoff bracket. I don't really know if you can see that. But so I did the play-in tournament to the playoff tournament, and there's some stuff that I got wrong, and because I made this a long time ago, probably 2 weeks before the season ended. So for my play-in tournament games, this was when Washington was still the 10th seed. So in my thing, Washington was going to play Indiana, and I expected Indiana to lose. I expected Russ to come out there. He was going to, him and Beal were going to go out there and smack the Pacers, but that didn't actually happen. It was Charlotte, Indiana, and Indiana smacked the Hornets. Sabonis was out there playing hard, giving it all he had. And Charlotte did not make the playoffs, unfortunately. They had a lot of injuries. Gordon Hayward wasn't there. So they have a good offseason to get healthy, another offseason to look at who do we want to keep. Do we need Devontae Graham? I would like to see him on the team. That's where he really got his start, where he went from basically not playing to doing a lot of minutes. And I would like to see him out there after his breakout season. I mean, of course, him and Ball, I didn't think they can play out there. It's the Rozier who I think can't. He's kind of his own guy, but he's good though. So that's the thing. Who do they want? Who do they want to give a contract to? Do they need a better big man? I think Biyombo went for. He was on. He was the bad player, I guess. Not very good, and now he kind of stepped up his game. I don't know if he had to because he was their only backup because they lost Willie Hernan Gomez. which he was a very versatile player. I think a lot of this is just speculation and what I've heard about how good a lot of players were and kind of what the box score says. But that didn't happen. I expected Washington to lose to Indiana, and I expected, and this was when Boston and Charlotte were competing as a 7th and 8th seed. I expected Charlotte to win and go on to play the 76ers, and then Boston was going to be in the whoever won the 9-10 matchup, and they had one more shot. And I expected them to play Washington, and Boston was going to rally together and become the 8th seed, and then eventually lose. Oh wait, I have these mixed up. I have Hornets. They would be the 7th seed playing the Nets. Nothing really matters. I mean, my prediction still stands. Charlotte or Nets and I go 4, 76ers and 4. It doesn't really matter much. So that was my the first round for the first set and 2 seeds, and then I expected Knicks and Hawks, which happened. They didn't change, and Bucks and Heat to happen, and that is for that division and that conference. 76ers and 4 against the Celtics, and the Nets and 4 against the Hornets, and then 76ers and 4 against the Celtics. And then, because I did not expect, the Boston did steal a game from the Nets after they won. Tatum put up 50, but I don't think that could really happen. In this scenario, at least, this is when Boston went from like 5 to 10 in like 6 games. In this reality, I thought that they were almost not. They were not gelling well. A lot of people were injured, and they just wouldn't be able to do it, in my opinion. The Knicks and the Hawks, I expect the Knicks to win in 6. Trae Young has gone off so far, so that could potentially get messy, changing, and they are in the A next time they play. Bucks and Heat. Bucks won 4. I expected the Bucks to win in 6. Bucks came out there and they weren't playing around. I expected the Heat to put up more of a fight. I thought from when Jimmy came back, they were like the 10 seed, hovering around 9, and then they came up to the 6 in that good stretch where the Knicks, Hawks, and Heat were all competing for their playoff seedings. And I just didn't really... I don't know. I just thought that the Heat would give it more of a fight, I guess. They would really put in their guys. Tyler Hero would come back, playoff hero. It's been just Dwayne Dedmon and Trevor Ariza just chucking shots. Bam hasn't played good. Jimmy hasn't played good. Duncan Robinson's been out there. Duncan's one of my favorite players, though. I think it's just because he's a shooter. Probably just what it is. He's a tall shooter at that, and I listen to his podcast. That's probably why he's one of my favorite players. But I think he's really cool. I think it's interesting, going from just like his story from D3 to NBA is like how much work he's put in, and I've heard it a lot from the podcast and from the media. But Duncan didn't have that amazing of a year this year for shooting because he already came out and he destroyed records for shooting. In the West, I don't really know which conference is which. I'm going to go the West. I expected LA and Golden State for the 7 and 8 matchup. LA would go on to win and play the Suns. That did happen, but I expected Golden State to beat Memphis, who beat the San Antonio Spurs in my reality and in the real reality, I guess. But that didn't happen. Memphis came out, played hard, Dylan Brooks played hard, and they beat the Golden State Warriors in real life. But I expected the Warriors to win for real. So then the Jazz would go on to play the Warriors. I expected Jazz in 6. There's really not much to that. Donovan was going to go off. Their whole team's going to shoot a lot of threes. I also really like Juan Toscano-Anderson. He's one of my favorite players as well. I think he plays hard. I like a guy who shoots threes and gets blocks. That's my favorite type of player, 3-and-D player. Nuggets and Mavericks were the 4-5 matchup before the Clippers started losing on purpose, so they wouldn't play they wouldn't play the Lakers, which is backfiring so far. They are down 2-1, but I expected the Nuggets to win in 7. Battle of the 2 Euro League players. I thought it was going to be a hard-fought game. Luka did elevate his game in the playoffs. I expect him to do this as well. Clippers versus the Blazers, because the Clippers were the 3 seed. I said Clips in 5. Clips have a lot of defenders. Kawhi's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Paul George, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Nick Batum, a good defensive player. Serge Ibaka, guy who's had 500 threes and 500 blocks. One of the first guys to do it so far after he switched to being a three-point shooter from the modern NBA. Patrick Beverley, Reggie Jackson is going to be hard. Rajon Rondo is going to be hard. Pause, but they're going to go hard, and they're going to play their hardest. Suns in LA, I expected LA to win in 6. LA, they have been hurt. This still could happen. That was the only prediction that I got right. Suns and Lakers. For the East, in my reality, it was Sixers and Knicks. Sixers would win in 6. I just think that the Sixers are too good for the Knicks. They had a very good season. Knicks had Hawks. Hawks, I don't think they were that good because they have very heliocentric offense. Sixers would win. They have Jew. Jew would be guarded by. What the heck am I thinking of? He'd be probably guarded by Joel Embiid. I don't know how I forgot him. Rose would be guarded by either Simmons or Thibault, and then Thibault would take, and then one of the others would take RJ Barrett as well. And then Bucks and Nets in the second round. Nets in 7. This reason I think could still happen because Bucks did make it to the second round. Nets are gonna make it to the second round. We can lock that in. If not, I will sell my freaking hair. I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to do that because I put it on the internet, so I have to. Well, I can't really do that. I think that'd be rude, given like there is this hair donation place. Not a hair donation place, but you can donate your hair for wigs and stuff, but I think it'd be rude to send them this length of hair. I'll throw in like $20 if the Nets lose. I don't know. That the Bucks played the Nets really good, and I think they won back to back. Giannis was defending KD really well, and they were winning. Drew Holiday would be defending probably Harden, and then what's his name? Chris Middleton would be guarding Kyrie Irving, but then they still have Blake and Joe, who they could throw like Brooke and Dante DiVincenzo on. I think Dante would be a good player to guard Joe Harris, but I still think that the big three is going to come out there. They're going to attract a lot of attention. They're going to shoot it, or they're going to kick to their shooters. They're going to give it to Claxton for a lot of easy dunks. Blake for some dunks, who's been going off so far, looking like an old Clippers self. Or like the last year of his Clippers contract. He's been doing all that. So then in the conference finals, it is in the East, the West. In the West, in the conference with the Jazz and the Nuggets, I expect Nuggets to win. Who did I expect? I expect Jazz to win in 5. I think it's just because of the seeding. I don't really know my reason for this. I did this a long time ago. I don't remember my reasoning, but Gobert can't lock down Jokic, but he can disrupt him. And who else? The Nuggets don't really have much right now. They have Michael Porter Jr., who is in the beginning of the year I said he's been disappointing again, and now he has come out there. He's been a most improved player candidate. I still believe that he has been a little disappointing from what everyone expected him to be. They expected him to be the number 1 pick. Got injured. They took him. He was injured his rookie year, and then he didn't play enough his sophomore year, and now he can't really qualify as a rookie anymore because he didn't play enough. He didn't play well enough, but he already played too much to be considered for a rookie again. But he's been there. Austin Rivers went off. I don't think that's going to happen, or I didn't think that would happen in this. So Jazz would win because they have Donovan Mitchell, they have the 6th man of the year, they have a lot of defenders and 3-point shooters. A low-key Matt Thomas could come out there and just hit 6 3-pointers. George Niang, who I thought his name was Georges for some reason. And then Clippers and Lakers, which this is before Clippers tanked. I expected Lakers in 6 again. Just the LeBron effect, I guess. LeBron and AD would come out there and just start winning. Like I've thought a lot about mindset recently, because I was playing I did this little thing on 2K19. That was before I got this bad boy, and now I can have the updated rosters. But I did just 2 players combined, and I threw them out there. The best player on that was Ben Simmons and Will Barton. And they were the best player. They've been winning MVP for like 7 seasons in a row in that simulation. But he hasn't won a championship. And I think it's a lot about mindset. And that's a lot of thing that Paul George doesn't have, that Kawhi Leonard hasn't shown, that he has like that mentality to win. And you can say the same thing about Braun. He doesn't have the same mentality as Kobe or Jordan, who's he's been compared a lot to in mentality. They have that killer instinct and that work ethic. And this video is kind of getting long, so I gotta finish this up real fast. But Lakers, I expected the mindset to come out and they were going to win. They have the championship DNA. In the East, Sixers and Nets. I expected Nets to win in 6. Sixers had a good run. I wanted Doc Rivers to be one of the Coach of the Year finalists. I didn't think Monty really should have been. Obviously he was a good coach, but I think Tibbs, Quinn Snyder, and Doc Rivers, those are my Coach of the Year finalists. I could release that video too, but now we know who they are. But I mean, I have it written down somewhere. I like to write a lot of stuff on paper. I just feel natural writing with pen and paper. So, I expected Nets to win because they have that big 3. Lakers and Jazz. Lakers win in 7. And then in the finals, you have the Nets versus the Lakers. Nets have gone through a 4-game series, a 7-game series, and a 6-game series. So they have definitely put in their work. They played a 7 and a 6-game series. But, this really could go either way with their injuries. But the Lakers, they were down bad from the end of the season, going from the 3rd to the play-in tournament. LeBron might not be healthy. They have all these new guys who haven't really shown up, like Wesley Matthews has kind of gone down. Andre Drummond is not the same player. And I expect the Brooklyn Nets to win in 5. So that's my playoff series prediction. If you made it this far, make sure you throw a like and subscribe, I guess. I don't know. It would help you out. You would get this beautiful commentary in your sub box every, business quarter, I guess. What's business quarter? That's probably 4 months. You get a new video every 4 months. Let's shoot for something crazy, like 420 likes. So, yeah, thank you, and peace out.